How one bad loan ruined his credit score forever. Most people think a credit score drops only when you're reckless. But sometimes, it only takes one loan, one signature, one decision that looks smart, until it ruins your life. This is not just another story about money. It's a finance horror story. A true tale of how a man, desperate for help, got trapped in a loan he thought would save him, and instead, destroyed his credit score forever. What started as a quick fix spiraled into missed payments, collection calls, and a debt trap he couldn't escape. And the worst part? Millions are walking straight into the same mistake. The loan that looked too good to be true. Tom Andrews had just turned 29. Freelancing wasn't paying as expected, bills were piling, and his rent was 3 weeks late. Then, an email. You're pre-approved. Get $5,000 instantly, no questions asked. It felt like a lifeline. The logo looked legit. The site, sleek and convincing. And best of all, no credit check. Tom didn't overthink it. He clicked apply, filled in some details, and within minutes, $5,000 hit his account. He felt relieved. But that relief would last less than 14 days. The first payment came fast, and it wasn't what he expected. The monthly amount was double what was promised. He checked the agreement again, and noticed the fine print he never saw before. Origination fee, $500. APR, 42%. Variable rate adjustment clause. By the time he realized, it was too late. He'd fallen into a personal loan trap, the kind that destroys credit scores in silence. But this was just the beginning of Tom's financial nightmare. The fine print nobody reads. At first, Tom felt like a genius. The $5,000 loan gave him breathing room, rent paid, bills cleared. For the first time in months, he slept peacefully. But peace has a price. Exactly 13 days later, the first auto debit hit. It wasn't $150, like he remembered. It was $312.56. And the next one was already scheduled, only 10 days apart. Confused, Tom dug into the loan agreement he had barely skimmed. And that's when he saw it. APR, 42%. Origination fee, $500. Late payment penalty, $75 per day. In fine print, font size 6. Right under a smiley face emoji and the words, fast, friendly financing. His stomach dropped. It wasn't just a loan, it was a financial time bomb. The kind designed not just to make money, but to bleed you dry. He wasn't just paying interest. He was paying for not reading, not knowing, not pausing. That night, Tom sat staring at his screen, realizing he'd traded short-term relief for long-term financial suffocation. Default, denial, and the domino effect. Tom missed one payment. Just one. 10 days later, his inbox was flooded. Final warning. Account delinquent. Additional penalties applied. He tried to call the lender. No answer. Tried to pause the auto debit. Access denied. The amount due kept growing, faster than he could think. Then came the email that broke him. Your account has been forwarded to a third-party collections agency. His credit score? 545. From a clean 720, in less than 60 days. He stared at the number. It didn't feel real. It felt like someone else's nightmare. But it was his. And the worst part? The calls hadn't started yet. But they were coming. When the calls don't stop. At first, Tom didn't pick up. The numbers were unknown. The voicemails were vague. But by day 3, they were calling every hour, sometimes 2 at once. Then came the texts. Pay now or face legal action. Your account is in breach of contract. You can be reported for fraud. His hands shook every time the phone buzzed. He changed his ringtone to silent. It didn't help. The dread was louder. Then one call came from a real person, a woman with a calm voice and cold words. Mr. Andrews, failure to cooperate may result in wage garnishment and property seizure. Wage garnishment? Tom didn't even have a steady job. What property? His second-hand laptop? He tried to explain. She didn't care. The time to talk, Mr. Andrews, was before you defaulted. Click. That night, Tom stared at the wall. Not the phone. Not the bills. Just the wall. He thought about everything. And for the first time, about giving up. But then, an email arrived. Subject line. Erase bad credit legally. 100% guaranteed. And Tom, he clicked it. The fixer. Tom had reached his limit. He hadn't slept in days. His phone was a grenade. His mind, a war zone. Then he saw it. An email that felt like hope in a storm. Fix your credit instantly. No questions. No upfront fees. 100% legal. The sender called himself the fixer. The website looked sharp. Testimonials everywhere. From 480 to 700 in 2 weeks. Debt erased without paying a dime. Too good to be true, maybe. But Tom wasn't thinking clearly. He was thinking desperately. He filled the form. Uploaded his ID. Bank statement. Then came the instructions. We'll dispute all your accounts. We'll use identity correction techniques. Sit tight. We do the dirty work. Tom hesitated. Then clicked, I agree. 2 days later, his credit report changed. Late payments, gone. Collections, vanished. His score, 640. Just like that. He smiled for the first time in weeks. Until his bank called. The reversal. The call came early. Not from the debt collectors. Not from the fixer. From Tom's bank. A cold, professional voice told him, Mr. Andrews, we've detected suspicious activity on your account related to unauthorized disputes and potential fraud. Tom's heart sank. The miracle fix wasn't a fix at all. It was a red flag waving high. Weeks later, letters flooded his mailbox. Investigations. Account freezes. Suspended credit privileges. The credit score he'd barely regained? Frozen. The worst part? His desperation had handed his personal data to strangers, who were now weaponizing it. The nightmare wasn't over. It was just beginning. Caught in the crossfire. Tom's nightmare had morphed. Now, it wasn't just about missed payments or fake fixes. Someone was using his identity. New accounts opened in his name. Loans taken out he never applied for. Charges he didn't make. His credit report, a battlefield. Fraud alerts flashing like warning sirens. His phone rang again, but this time from collections for debts he never owed. He was trapped. The system didn't know the real Tom anymore. And neither did he. He tried to fight back, calling banks, filing reports, freezing credit. But every step forward felt like 2 steps back. The worst part? The clock was ticking. Because one final notice had arrived. Your account is scheduled for legal action. Race against time. Tom had 72 hours. That's what the notice said. Legal action will commence in 3 days. He had no time to panic. No energy left for fear. He moved like a man possessed. Filing a police report, calling every agency, locking down his digital footprint. Sleep. Gone. Food. Forgotten. He reached out to a credit attorney, borrowed money to hire a forensic expert, and contacted a real credit counselor, the kind that doesn't advertise with emojis or instant promises. Together, they uncovered something chilling. The fixer wasn't just a scammer. He was part of an organized ring. A digital web that had already stolen the identities of over 9,000 people. Tom's documents had been sold on the dark web, twice. But thanks to the digital fingerprints left behind, the expert traced the breach. And law enforcement moved in. Arrests were made. The story even hit the news. Local man helps uncover massive credit fraud network. Tom didn't celebrate. He was tired. But when he logged into his credit report 3 months later, something unbelievable happened. His score had recovered. Not fully, but enough. The collections were cleared. The fraudulent accounts wiped clean. A note on his report now read, "Victim of verified identity theft, case closed." He printed it, framed it, not as a trophy, but as a reminder. Because one bad loan didn't just ruin his credit. It nearly destroyed his life. But in the end, he didn't just survive. He fought back. And won. One bad loan. That's all it took to send Tom spiraling into a financial nightmare. But this story wasn't just about credit scores or missed payments. It was about trust, desperation, and the thin line between survival and ruin. In the end, Tom didn't just fix his credit. He reclaimed his identity, his dignity, and his future. And now, his story stands as a warning to anyone chasing shortcuts in a system designed to punish mistakes. Because in finance, there are no shortcuts. Only traps disguised as lifelines. Learn from Tom. Read the fine print. Ask the right questions. And when it gets dark, don't look for easy. Look for truth. This was how one bad loan ruined his credit score forever. A finance horror story. And a true wake-up call for us all. If this story shook you, or opened your eyes to the hidden traps of the credit world, then do one powerful thing today. Hit that like button if you found value. Subscribe so you never miss the next financial eye-opener. Turn on the notification bell to stay ahead of the traps others fall into. And most importantly, share this video with someone you care about. It might just save them from making the same mistake. This is your warning and your weapon. Don't keep it to yourself.